Tech News Weekly is sponsored by Hover.com. Go to gfu.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. FreshBooks. FreshBooks is an easy-to-use online invoicing service that saves you time, gets you paid faster, and makes you look professional. Get started completely for free at FreshBooks.com. And by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook by going to audiblepodcast.com/GFQ.
Starting Tech News Weekly in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, everybody, to Tech News Weekly. This is a show where we cover as much tech as we can, things that interest me, Suncast, and our guests today, actually. I'm going to get to that, but you can watch us live on gfqlive.tv. Also, we archive each and every one of our shows at gfqnetwork.com. Suncast is here with me, as he is each and every week, except for last week. You weren't here, Suncast. How you doing?
No, I had issues last week, and I'm still having some issues, and it's frustrating.
What happened?
Issues that you can't solve.
What happened last week?
Well, it turns out there was some big issues with Comcast. Apparently, this is what they told me. I had 3 times over the span of about 10 days where I lost internet for at least half the day. And it took them that long to figure out what was going on and to fix the problem. Supposedly, it's fixed now. What it was is that 2 amplifiers between me and what they're calling the plant failed, and they had to fix those amps. They had to basically track the problem down first, which took them 10 days and 3 outages to do it, but that's what they're telling me. I mean, literally 2 minutes before we went on to do TNW last week.
You were good. I had Eric Lanigan on, and you were all good to go, and then all of a sudden it was over. That's it.
Man,
no
ruined my
Suncast.
day.
It's all right. It happens. This week we have a special guest in studio. You might have seen him before. Huh? In studio. He's here, actually. It's a big secret, but he's been here for about a couple weeks now. Chase is here. You may know Chase from his show, geekgamer.tv. Geek Gamer Weekly is his show.
Yes.
I've been on your show.
Yes.
I enjoyed being on your show.
Thank you. We want to have you back again, but you were just too tired like last week or something.
So last Sunday, I had to do I was at a christening. I was asked to be a godfather. It was the most exhausting day of my life, and I was ready to just go to sleep. And Chase messed. And you know what I did, Chase? I attempted to get up and get ready, and I saw the message, and I actually got up to get ready to come on your show, to message you like, hey, listen, I could come on. I was so tired, I could barely put my pants on. And I don't think you wanted a pantsless Andrew Zarian on Geek Gamer Weekly.
Well, you know, it's like news anchors on the news. You don't know really what they're wearing anyway, so... I mean, I've done a tour of a TV studio. The guy comes out wearing a suit and a tie, or jacket, shirt, tie, and then he's wearing cutoffs. So
you're wearing a G-string right now, aren't you, Chase?
Chase is just wearing a G-string as we do the show. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. You want me to pan it down? I can do that. I mean, but
it's a family show.
Hey, we might get some more ratings. Show.
Listen, maybe for the free-for-all after this show, maybe we could do that. But listen, maybe it might increase the viewers. Who knows?
That's right.
You can follow Chase on, you go to geekgamerweekly.com, or is it geekgamertv.com? Yep,
geekgamer.tv.
Geekgamer.tv.
Geek Gamer Weekly. And we launched a new show, by the way. I don't know if you've caught it yet.
No, what is it?
It's called Minecraft Me.
Oh,
it's about
wow.
About the popular game Minecraft, and we get a lot of great feedback, a lot of great viewers. Actually, it's
huge following. I mean, the game has a huge following. I know nothing about the game, so before we go into the news, can you tell me what the game is?
Essentially, it's building blocks, Legos. You have this entire world. It's generated randomly, and you mine and pick up items, and you create things with those items, and you use those items to make other items. Think of it as a huge sandbox, and you can do pretty much whatever you want. The only thing is, be careful when it gets dark. Be careful when it becomes night, because then the zombies come out, and the creepers come out, and they try to kill you. So... in a nutshell, it's Legos for adults, and it's awesome.
So would I like it? If you like
Legos,
I did, and then I would get upset because I wasn't smart enough to build the good sets, and I would just break it and cry.
Well, you will like it. What we do on our show is we take it from a different perspective.
Okay.
We actually start it from a noob's perspective. Now, before I started the show, I never played the game. I bought the game when it was an alpha. It was a cheaper price back then. You could still get it for about $20. And my buddy Joe Falvey, which you've met on Geek Gamer Weekly, he walks me through the show, and he walks me through how to play the game.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's from a beginner's perspective, but we do talk about some intermediate and advanced stuff, and I think you would enjoy it. I really think you would.
You know what I'll do? I will start playing it if you guys could walk me through.
Absolutely.
I'll start playing it. Because it looks, I'm looking at the website. I'm at Minecraft.net.
Now he'll start ignoring more GFQ work.
I say, what makes
I'll have
you
to
watch
pick up the
episode-
slack here. Do you see what you're doing to me?
Yeah, he already picks up all the slack. By the way, Suncast, I want to say something publicly. I sent Suncast a computer about a week ago. Today, UPS knocked on my door, and I got a package. I open it up. It's the computer.
Nice.
It was sent. It was returned to sender.
Why?
Because they sent it to the wrong address.
Oh, jeez.
The UPS store, because Jessica Hand and my wife went to mail the package, gave them the actual write-down of everything and printed out the label and said, okay, listen, here it is. I guess we didn't double-check, and my package is back at my house. So tomorrow I'm going to have to go back to UPS and ship this thing. It cost me $28 to ship it. So it'll probably cost me even more now. So I just wanted to say that before we start. You could also go to our website, guysfromqueens.com, to check out all our shows. We have everything archived at guysfromqueens.com. We're also on iTunes. We are a iTunes partner. I made the announcement last week.
We're fully supported with iDevices now. However you want to get our stuff through our website, you want to do the on-demand stuff, you want to watch us live, it's all compatible with iDevices now.
Yes, I agree with you. Yeah, you could go to gfqlive.tv for the iOS stuff, and then you can go to itunes.com/gfq for the iTunes special page they've made for us. So let's go into the news, because if we don't, I'm just going to talk about Minecraft and just quit the show altogether and start playing another game. Thanks,
Great
Chase.
game. I do it. Let's just do it, man.
Let's go to this. I'm going to go to the HP story. Meg Whitman, politician. Some people may remember the name. She ran for governor of California, has been given the CEO position at HP. This, it's not really a big surprise, right, Suncast? Because she sat on the board.
Yeah, she was actually. It's a little bit of a surprise because she wasn't, as far as I understand, she wasn't on the board all that long. Maybe a year at most, if not less. And then she basically just seemed like the right pick for this right now, I think.
She knows the company. This is coming after the entire debacle of HP's horrible public relations nightmare that was over the summer, where they announced that they're spinning the PC business, they're leaving the PC business.
They've had several issues.
They're getting rid of WebOS, but they're not getting rid of WebOS. They're still supporting it. So
then you can go back even further than that to all the crap that happened with their previous CEO, Mark Hurd.
Yeah, with Mark. Well, yeah, Mark left, and the new guy came in. Leo
Apotheker or something like that. I'm not sure how to pronounce the guy's last name.
Well, he's out too. So this is a giant debacle. They're doing major shifts. I wouldn't be surprised if they start shifting over the board as well. Chase, what do you think? I mean, this is a big thing that's happening over at HP, and it seems pretty inconsistent, the moves that they're making, considering the fact that they just bought WebOS with the previous CEO. Not the previous CEO. Yeah, the previous CEO.
Previous administration.
Previous administration. And they decided that they're going to leave they're going to stop WebOS. They're going to stop the computer market, or they're not. They're going to go into the cloud. They're not going into the cloud. It was such a confusing situation. What do you think this company's trying to do? I mean, they're the biggest computer manufacturer, biggest brand out there, right? One of the biggest ones. One of the best. I think overall they sell the most. They have great products. If you look at their laptop line, they have stuff that physically can compete with Apple's MacBooks and MacBook Pros. I mean, I'm talking about aesthetically as far as looks. what is going wrong with this company and what can they do to survive? I mean, they're making so many power moves, it's out of control.
Well, they felt first off, the whole reason why I think HP made the move to go get Meg was when they made the great Web OS HP touchpad announcement. It pretty much killed their stock. I think it went down, I want to say 25%.
Yes.
And it was a punch in the gut. And so now the waves have kind of calmed down a little bit, and now HP wants to do something what they feel is a little bit more positive and make a little waves of their own that's for a good direction. So they think, Meg's got good experience. She's former CEO over there at eBay, and she helped that company do pretty well, and I think they're still doing well.
Yeah, I mean, she's seasoned as far as politics go and the corporate world goes. I mean, she's a perfect person to pick, and she's a high-profile person to pick. I think being high-profile was a large portion of their decision-making.
Let me try and break this down for you a little bit. There were several reasons why they decided to let Leo go. One of those reasons was that he just couldn't inform an executive team. Another reason was that he wasn't able to effectively communicate to the media what he was doing with the company. And I think that's one of the reasons why they in turn did,
I don't think he knew.
Chose Meg Whitman. I don't know why. I just had a brain fart there or something.
No, I'm sure.
Go ahead.
I'm sure that the debacle of that announcement really had to made way for him leaving. I mean, that was a major problem. When you cannot communicate, when you cannot communicate to the media and to your stockholders of what you're planning on doing with the company, and then you take everything back, that's a major issue. So Meg is a seasoned veteran of the corporate world, and I think she'll do a
there's a lot of things that are wrong with HP and need to be fixed, and it's not something that can be fixed overnight. It's actually going to be something that takes time. And problem is that there's certain things that HP wants to do and that they need to have done, but finding a CEO that fits each of those categories is very hard to do. One of the reasons why they went with Leo in the first place last fall is because they wanted a future vision, of HP, and that's what they picked Leo for, is because he's this guy that has some brilliant ideas on how to make something future-proof and take the company into the future. But he lacked in the other areas where they're looking to hope that Meg Whitman can fill in, and that's why they chose her, is because they hope that she can fill in the roles that he left behind and he wasn't able to fill.
I don't see HP going away anytime soon, in my opinion. I mean, people are screaming that this is the end of HP.
No.
They're not going to make computers. I don't think they're not going to make computers. And you want some conspiracy theory? I don't even think they're going to kill the WebOS division. I think this was a way for them to liquidate whatever they have and to get some attention and get the platform in the environment of the consumer. And now they're going to turn around and probably say, we're actually going to start developing again because of popular demand and because so many people bought it. And they're going to start throwing numbers around. That's my opinion.
They don't want to be in the hardware business. That's what it comes down to, is they want to do software and enterprise.
Yeah, but they're not IBM.
That's what they want to do with HP.
They're not IBM. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I mean, you got to be careful if you're HP here. I mean, they were they're still a very familiar consumer brand. As Andrew pointed out, their laptops, desktops, don't forget their printers. Who didn't have an HP DeskJet printer, there's always one around somewhere. And their big ink business, and there's other divisions of the company. You can't just dismiss that and say, well, they made the announcement, yeah, we're getting out of it, but they're really not getting out of it. I just saw a commercial on television touting their HP laptop with quad speakers and Beats Audio by Dr. Dre. I don't think they're going to eliminate it. I think they need to regain their focus about who they want to be, and I don't see them getting out of the consumer product space because honestly, I think it makes them a good chunk of money, and I think they'd be stupid just to say, we're going to concentrate on enterprise and That's it. We're getting out of this consumer stuff.
I know a lot of people find this corporate stuff boring. I don't, because it always fascinated me, and that was my background. That's where I came from. But I would love to be a fly on the wall when those conversations are happening and when they decide that they're going to shift. Because something huge had to have happened internally for this company. And I know this is all news, but it's still in the news. And I think Meg taking over as CEO is a huge story. And it might be the turnaround that they need. But something huge had to have happened in that company where they panicked. And they panicked really bad. But we'll see what happens. And I'm sure more news will come out within the next couple of weeks about this.
They did say that they're going to stick to the plan as it is right now with regards to spinning off the PC unit.
Yeah. I'm being asked right now by one of my other co-hosts if I want Starbucks. He's very nice. I'm going to say, yes, sir. You see what kind of people work for me, Trace? You see what happens when you work for GFQ Inc.? You end up buying me. You end up buying me things to keep me happy.
You become his slave.
You do. You do.
Well, if you need a satellite office in Seattle, you let me know. And when you need a break from that humidity and heat and traffic and weather, just come out here and you can get a nice breather.
I hear it's beautiful.
It's
I can't say
gorgeous.
the same about where I live. So. I want to go into the big story of the week, and I'm sure we're going to spend a lot of time on this. The new Facebook. Now, I actually took a screenshot of my Facebook. Suncast, I am prepared. Many of the viewers don't think I'm ever prepared. Nobody ever thinks I'm prepared. Everybody thinks that this man on the screen does all the work, but I actually did prepare. Suncast,
I thought about asking you if you wanted me to grab videos and stuff.
I knew it. Last night, Suncast sent me a link that Lifehacker and Mashable both have on their website. You could go to either or site and they give you great step-by-steps. I found Mashable's explanation a little easier because they had it in individual pictures, and I do better with pictures rather than writing.
Go figure.
I ended up setting my account up to be a developer, and if you are a developer, you can automatically get the new Facebook. Chase, have you enabled yours?
Oh, absolutely. I've been messing around with and looking at the timeline, actually going back and taking a look at what you first wrote. Like, I think my first post was like in 07 or tail end of 06, and it's cool. It's really, really neat. It's probably the first thing from Facebook, and I know we're going to get to it, that I didn't go, man, what the F? I mean, really? I mean, stop moving stuff around. But this is one thing I think a lot of people will be like, wow, this is pretty cool.
I actually really like it. And here's my Facebook. So I took a screenshot this morning of what it looks like, and it's a major, major overhaul. I'm going to take the lower third off so you could see. You have another picture up top, and it's a nice... It's
you got to make sure that when you do that picture, though,
it has to
use
be
a
the
nice
right
high-quality image.
Yeah, I think this one worked. But to me, it feels like... what's that website I have? Flavors.me. It feels almost like a portal to everything you're doing.
A live stream almost.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I really do.
It's kind of like a cross between MySpace, a microblog, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yeah,
it's kind of like all those things all rolled in one. I do have a question that I do want to ask both of you.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel that this is somewhat of a novelty or a gimmick?
For what? For the branding? No, I think this is the proper...
No, just the way it feels. To me, it kind of feels almost like a gimmick. It doesn't seem... I don't know. It just doesn't seem professional.
Well,
I feel, yeah.
I know. I get what you mean. I think what they did was they're trying to create this community, right? They're trying to create where this is where you go, and you don't ever need to sign up for another site.
This is it. Mark Zuckerberg wants world domination.
Yeah,
that's what he wants.
Yeah,
and he said it. He's pretty much said that.
I mean, I love it. I love the timeline stuff because I could stalk everybody. I've been reading people that have enabled this. I've been reading their stuff.
So you can live in your own little bubble?
Yeah, I've been reading what I've been doing.
People on Facebook?
I think it's really cool. Like you could even go back now in time and you could add a timeline for relatives. Like it says where my wife was born. I can make a comment about it. It says when I got my first job. I could add a photo of the place I worked at.
That feels like a novelty, though. And it's a lot like an archive.
It is an archive, and they're trying to combine all the different social networking sites that do this well. They're trying to combine it into one.
I'm not 100% sold on this.
You're not. What don't you like?
like I said, to me, it kind of feels like a novelty, just a gimmick to say, hey, we got this cool little thing. Come check it out. Become a member, and you can do this. It's kind of like a scrapbook to me.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly what it is.
It doesn't do anything for me.
I like it. I don't know.
I almost wish there was 2 versions of Facebook, and I know that they've tried doing different versions of Facebook before, and it kind of didn't work with that Facebook Lite thing.
Yeah.
That didn't work at all. But in regards, I do wish that there was some more of it was similar to where it was before. I think it's a little bit too big of a change. There's aspects that I do like of it. I kind of like the style of it. I think it kind of looks nice, a little bit fresher, not as stale anymore.
You're not crazy about the timeline.
No, I'm not crazy about the timeline thing at all. Just partly because it has basically this little line or a branch down the middle, and updates and statuses on either side of that. But it's not exactly, in my opinion, chronological order. You'll have something on either side, left and right, and you have to read it left to right. But because the sizes of those boxes are dynamic, they're not all the same, it can get a little confusing for me. So you really have to actually pay more attention to the data of it to really figure out, because you're so used to going down, just up and down, and now you have to go left to right. So they're in that regard, it's a very big change.
Yeah, go ahead, Chase.
I was going to say, you got to remember one thing, Suncast, is that when you're looking at news and stories and you're checking things out, you're not going to be looking at your profile page. You're not looking at your own timeline page. Your timeline page is for your friends and family to go through. Remember, you're still going to be going to your base, news feed screen,
which is pretty much the same. They did make some changes. They have this live feed, or I think they call it the live ticker.
Yeah,
that is
up ticker is basically their new. That's what they're calling the new version of Open Graph. Open Graph is a way, or an API, to create applications that interact with Facebook, as far as I understand it. And through Open Graph, you can create all these little nifty little applications that interact with Facebook. And that's one of the ways that Mark Zuckerberg actually plans world domination.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, the profile page isn't for it's not for you. I mean, it's for someone else to look at. So who's going to go to your own profile page to see feeds? You're going to look at your home page per se in Facebook. I mean, the one thing that's creatively designed about the whole timeline is they want you to fill in the gaps. They want you to give them more information, obviously, for marketing. I mean, it's pretty creative in that sense that, hey, Andrew, you better fill in what were you doing in 1999? What were you doing when you got married to Jessica? Those types of situations that you have these gaps.
Tell us your life story so that we can use it for things.
Yeah,
exactly. So I can use it to know that you want to buy Pepsi on Thursdays. I'll know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant as far as marketing goes, and I actually do like it a lot. I think it's interesting, and now that you could go back, and it pretty much combined a lot of these other social networking sites that have a couple of good features, but nobody ever uses, or they have a very small group of people that use it. But there's some really good
like
stuff.
The ticker, by the way.
Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised they start adding Family Tree, and they start adding all of that stuff. I mean, they kind of do it to some extent. You can find out who your relatives are. But I think that's where they're going to go, where this is just everything. This is your life, and it's open, and everybody could see it, whoever you want to see it.
Well, you got to have some privacy controls there, because
you do, yeah. See, I'm different.
Everybody wants everybody to see everything.
See, I'm a little different in essence, in this sense, because I don't care about the privacy stuff. I don't post anything. I don't want out there. I'm not, I actually went back to my old posts because I freaked out that people could see stuff that I said before I opened the network, and I'm like, wow, you know what? Maybe some of this stuff isn't appropriate, and it's not. So I had to delete some of my old posts. So I think a lot of people are going to be plagued with that problem. But I didn't really, I came to Facebook late. I came in 2006. Can you, Chase, now, do you understand the whole subscriber thing
Oh, I
That's
love
a
that.
little weird, right? Do you know much about it?
It is and it isn't. I mean, it's really simple. It's like it's essentially, it's like you're subscribing to an RSS feed in a sense. I mean, but you're subscribing to their Facebook feed. So when they put out a status update, so say if I subscribe to you or Suncast, I'm gonna get your updates right at the top of my feed. I'm gonna have a specific section, a specific feed, so I could see the updates of the people that I subscribe to. It's kind of in a sense like following people on Twitter is a great example. I'm going to see, I'm going to see your feed. I'm going to see what your status updates are.
But
and that sort of thing.
by default, if I don't add you as a friend, if you send me a friend request and I don't add you as a friend, you become a subscriber.
I don't think I caught that.
That's how I saw it, because there's some people that send me friend requests and I didn't accept them and they sat in limbo.
I wonder if that's some sort of loophole in the system.
I don't know. I don't know. And I looked, and it says that now they're subscribing to me.
Let me say this. That subscribe button is underrated, because let me tell you, it has a lot of cool features that I love about this. Because before, you just basically become friends with somebody. You don't have a whole lot of control over what sort of information of theirs show up in your newsfeed. You can use extensions and whatnot to kind of pick and choose what you want. But now with this subscribe button, it's really nice, because you have granular control over what types of information you're going to see from your friends. For example, if you click on that subscribe button, you can choose how many updates you want to do. You want to see all of their updates, most updates, or only their important updates.
What's an important update? See, that's another thing. What classifies something as an important update? How does it know?
I had a cheeseburger for breakfast.
Algorithm.
That is an important update.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, how does it know what's important? I'm sure it says, like, mother died. It looks for keywords like dead, birth. I mean, if it's using an algorithm to decide, and it's not, by important, maybe it just means a status update and doesn't mean, like, a picture or, like, adding a friend or a game.
But it's nice because it goes further than that, because, you might, a lot of those smaller updates that you see in the ticker, or some of those annoying games that people play, like Farmville. Maybe you're not a fan of Farmville and you don't want to see any of those stupid game updates in your newsfeed from your friends. You can actually say, I don't want to see any game updates from my friends with this subscribe button. And that's one of the things I like about that is I don't want to see updates from my friends of them playing Farmville and all that kind of stuff. So you can just say no games. And that's really nice. And I think that, to me, really is an important feature of Facebook that they added. It's very underrated, because I don't think I've seen anybody really say that you can do all these things with a subscribe button.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's pretty, you're right, it's pretty detailed.
I mean, my only question here is I understand why they're doing it. And I think the biggest roadblock that they're going to have, Facebook, is to get through that roadblock of explaining that to the common user.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I, Suncast, everybody, we know, all right, this is what you get when you hit the subscribe button and you get their feed. But, grandma and grandpa who's, following, us and as family members, they're not going to know about it. They think all they have to do is just friend us, and they can see what's going on in our lives and follow that. Now it's just one extra step that they have to jump through.
I think the purpose of the subscribe button is for public figures.
Yeah, that's got to be.
That's who it's for. I mean, a lot of these people, they don't want
I don't see it that way at all, because of those other features that you get along with it, because you can pick and choose
but who's going to use
you see from your friend in your main news feed.
But here's the thing. I don't think 90% of the people who use Facebook do not understand that you could turn anything off. And they're just adding friends and family. They're not adding strangers. So they want to see what everybody's up to. And they post stupid videos, and they post stupid poems and sayings and quotes.
This is the subscribe button, I think, is a partial response to Google Plus and how you can follow public figures and add them into a circle and see their public feeds on your page. Facebook saw this, and they're like, hey, how can we incorporate that into our social network? We're going to call it subscribe, so you could subscribe to Leo Laporte, Chris Pirillo, your favorite tech pundits, that sort of thing, or not even tech pundits, famous people. Who cares, Because obviously
Kutcher.
they're not going to friend you. You're not going to become friends with Kim Kardashian, but you may want to know what's going on in her baby daddy's life.
Yeah.
Things like that. Then yeah, that's.
I
the
mean,
reason.
we all need to know about that. I mean,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a very important part of my life. Actually, I only follow people who are dead behind the eyes. Those are the type of people I follow.
Gee, thanks for the compliment.
Yeah. I'm talking. I'm talking about celebrities, Suncast. You are no celebrity. No, one question I got from people was, what are they going to do with the pages? Like for a business or for a celebrity or for whatever, are pages going to go away? And how are they going to incorporate pages in this new way of doing it? Because a lot of people are now going to turn off pages. They're going to turn off support. They don't want to see a business soliciting, which I don't think the purpose.
I disagree with that.
You don't think? Well, this was a bit. I think TechCrunch had a comment about this, and it was interesting how pages might go away now, and a lot of people will not follow, and it'll become useless.
Well, I still see pages much like applications. And that's kind of the way that Facebook sets it up, is they set up these pages somewhat like an application. And really, that's one of the cool things about applications now, is that you have a little bit more control over, you can create applications a little bit more tailored to your business through this new Open Graph stuff that they have. So I don't think pages necessarily will go away. I think they'll incorporate a lot of the newer stuff, but not just yet.
Yeah. Again, we're gonna when this starts rolling out to the general public, I'm sure we're gonna go into this again and get.
Yeah,
a
they
lot
said
more
it'll
interest.
roll out over in about 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
They'll get everything set up for everybody.
Yeah, and they got to work everything out. I want to go to two other stories this week. Next week, actually, we're going to see Amazon holding a press conference. And the speculations are that they're going to announce their tablet, their Amazon tablet that we've been hearing so much about. And people are really holding this thing in high regards, and they're saying that this is going to save the Android tablet, and this is going to be the serious competitor to the iPad. And I'm kind of tired of hearing that, and I don't think anything will at this point. Until Windows 8 comes out, I don't think any of these guys are going to be a serious competitor to the Apple brand.
Here's how they can beat the iPad. This is real simple.
Amazon.
I think
Amazon, you said.
Amazon can beat the iPad. Actually, I'm not even just Amazon. I think if you have a good quality tablet computer, okay, and I think HP even demonstrated this with their fire sale of the touchpads for $149 for the 32 gig.
Yeah.
If Amazon comes out of the gate and says, hey, we're going to have this high-quality tablet computer, maybe 8-inch Android tablet, we're going to sell it for $199. People are going to be like, whoa, here's an Amazon tablet. I got color Kindle. I can read my books in color. It's less than half the price of a brand new iPad. Price dictates everything. And if they can come out of the gate for the holiday season saying, hey, we got a under $200 tablet, and it's not crap either. It's good hardware.
Yeah.
I really think they can make a dent. If they say it's going to be $399 or something like that, $299 even, people are going to be like, it's too expensive. For $200 more, I can just get an iPad. But if they can make it cheap,
it will be a Kindle. So we know that it's gonna hold the Kindle name.
Yeah.
If it's $250, I think they'll sell really well. Anything over $250, it's gonna be a dud. I don't think it's gonna sell to the level that they're hoping.
Yeah.
We need to see something like this. I mean, we need another competitor. And for Android, which has not been very successful in the tablet world, and they have not been doing so great because the hardware is just awful and the software is not great. This is the answer, because the software is totally redone. The UI is totally redone for the hardware by Amazon. So there is some hope there. The conference, I believe, is going to be on Wednesday, the press conference, where they're going to, I guess, unveil it. We don't know, but the odds are, yes, that's what it is. Also, on October 4th, Tim Cook, the reports are that they're going to hold a media event, and Tim Cook is unveiling the next generation iPhone. which I think is going to be the iPhone 5. I don't think it's going to be the iPhone 4S.
That would be a mistake.
A huge mistake.
mistake.
Huge mistake. You know, I read the Wall Street Journal as a kid. We always got the Wall Street Journal in my house. And I always looked at it as a very credible source. I have and I'm sure they are. But now with technology, because I'm reading some of the stuff that the Wall Street Journal puts out. And it's like they go to 4chan and they read anything that's published on that website. With anything, and they go, oh, there's a mini iPhone Nano coming out next week, and they're selling it for $4. It's going to be great, and only Cricket is going to hold it as a service provider. You know, according to the Wall Street Journal, as of last week, they said they're going to have 2 iPhones. They're going to have the iPhone 4S. They're going to have the iPhone 4 still in the market. And they're going to have the iPhone 5. And the iPhone 5 is going to be the higher end one. The iPhone 4 is going to be what the 3GS is, and it's going to be $99. And the iPhone 4S is going to be without the bigger display. And I'm thinking that is the worst thing Apple could ever do.
Yeah.
The worst
See,
thing.
one thing that makes the iPhone what it is that there's only one model.
And there should be only one model.
If you want a different model, well, you got to go to the previous generation, and I think that suits Apple very well.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to do that. I think it's going to be iPhone 5. It's going to have a bigger display. It's going to have a higher quality display. And it's going to get thinner. It's going to get, faster, and it's going to be the next generation of the iPhone. I don't think it's going to be this crazy contraption with 2 different brands and 3 different names and all these different things. That would be awful for them to do. Hey, see? Look at this. I told you. I got my coffee. See that? See how great this is?
Andrew, my biggest, I don't know if it's a huge concern. I know there's a lot of buzz for it. A lot of people are waiting to get the iPhone 5.
Yeah.
Right now, I have an iPhone 4 here on AT&T. And, I like it. It's great. It functions for me. And the one thing I'm thinking about here is, all right, yeah, it's going to have a bigger screen probably. It's going to be, what, a couple of millimeters thinner than what I have now.
Yeah.
There's a chance, could be, that with iOS 5, it may not be compatible with my in-car deck. It should be, you would think.
I don't think it's going to be thinner than the current iPod Touch.
So what's my true incentive? So it's going to be a little bit faster, but the iPhone 4 for me is already fast enough. I mean, it does everything I want it to do. It's still snappy to this day. It's gonna have the iOS 5 software update once it rolls out. The only thing that would ever consider me moving to the iPhone 5 is if I was going to move carriers to like Sprint, because Sprint's going to have unlimited data. And since I'm not really in a great love relationship with AT&T, I would leave AT&T for the new girl. And,
and also that's the rumor also that Sprint they're opening it up. Sprint's going to get the iPhone
with unlimited data.
And that's
the key. They said they're going to offer unlid data
for a limited time.
For a limited time. See, that's the thing.
Unlimited data for a limited time. Huh?
I don't. Well, what? Did they say a limited time?
Yeah.
Everything I've been reading just been saying unlimited data. They didn't say it's going to be limited time.
There was some speculation or reports about it being limited.
Okay.
But what is unlimited data? See, here's the other tricky thing. What is unlimited data?
Unlimited data is 5 gigabytes.
5 gigs, right?
That's not really unlimited then.
Well, it is and it isn't. I mean, let's say you go over 5 gigabytes and let's say you go to 6. Let's say you hit 6 on Sprint. I don't think they're going to say, oh, well, we're going to turn you off. I mean, if you're abusing the hell out of it, probably. And, I know AT&T's done that.
Well, nobody does that.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it's a hard cap per se.
Yeah.
On Sprint. Now, I can't speak for. I know obviously on AT&T, they're charging overages, all the grandfathered plans. People are still trucking along. I'm on a grandfathered unlimited plan on my iPhone, so we'll see. But to go back to my original question, is there really any big incentive for the existing iPhone 4 users out there to update? I mean, bigger screen. Oh, okay, that's great.
There's another question in there that I want to pose.
Sure.
And that's, what about LTE?
I was about to say that. Now, we really don't know anything about it right now. I would imagine they would be going to LTE at this point. I would imagine it's going to be one global phone. I don't think they're going to want to produce two separate phones. I think for CDMA it'll be LTE. They're going to have to go LTE at this point. I mean, the 4 came out and it wasn't LTE. And
look back to when they launched on Verizon and what Apple was saying then is that they were saying they're not ready for LTE. We're probably not going to do this just yet. So I'm not sure if iPhone 5, the next generation of the iPhone that they come out with, whatever they call it, I'm not 100% sure that it will have LTE.
Well, here's the problem.
It should have LTE.
Here's the problem, though. You're competing with nearly every Android phone that does have LTE and that is 4G at this point. So how
don't
could
forget,
you... Go ahead.
Don't forget, they're installing and have installed LTE equipment in Apple stores.
Yeah.
There was a story that was leaked or released about a month ago, where technicians were found installing LTE antennas and equipment in Apple stores. Now, why in the hell would they be doing that if they're not going to launch a phone that possibly has LTE? I think you're probably going to see like the iPhone 4S that won't have LTE for people who want maybe some of the features of the 5 phone, maybe a larger screen size perhaps. But if you want LTE and you want the stuff, you'll get the 5.
Yeah, you know what, Chase, you make a lot of sense, actually. Now thinking about that makes a lot of sense why they would have two separate phones. They would have the 4S. They would eliminate the 4 from the market, have the 4S that isn't LTE, but it's a little bit faster, and then they would have the 5.
Yeah.
Which is LTE and the bigger display and bigger everything. Now, here's the problem. And there's many people on Verizon that got Android about 2 years ago, like me, when the first Droid came out. I'm in a situation where my contract ends in November. I qualify for a phone now, but there's nothing really to get, and it's a bad time to get a phone. Do I jump ship and go get the iPhone? Because I'm already in the environment via my iPod Touch. I'm already used to it. I've had such a horrible relationship with Android at this point that I'm turned off by it totally. What do I do? What do people like me do? I know for a fact I'm definitely getting an iPhone 5 for Jess. She's done with Android. She's getting the iPhone 5. What do I do? Do I get an iPhone 5? And
you get an iPhone 5. You and Jessica split your Apple account, and you guys can share the apps.
I mean, I want to be in the Android environment the worst way because I have to comment on it and I have to know what's happening. And they're saying ice cream sandwich is going to be a lot better, but I feel to do like a simple thing, you got to jump through hoops to get it to work, and I'm kind of getting tired of it. And I think many people, and I know a lot of people with Android phones, are experiencing the same problems that I am. And I think, this whole market share thing for Android has been the story, right? Android is 50%, 52%, 53%, depending on who you talk to. I could imagine this market share getting smaller and smaller over the next couple of years with the Nokia deal with Windows Phone, with the iPhone being available on every platform. These two things are going to really hurt the sales of Android because Android is kind of getting known to be as a unstable phone for the average user. I don't think the average user is happy with Android.
I think they're starting to peak is what it is. Is that
the enthusiasts will definitely buy it.
Newness has been wearing off now. Everybody kind of knows what it is. The marketing is still really great for it, and that's one of the things that Android has going for them is great, super awesome marketing and very nice ads. And that does really make you want to go out because let's look at the Apple ads. That makes you want to go out and get an iPhone, doesn't it? Same with the ads for the Android devices.
Yeah. Chase Newness.
Yeah, speaking of newness.
Speaking of newness. So we're going to see what happens. It's an exciting time. There's a lot happening in the next couple of weeks. And, with the summer being such a dud for technology, it becomes kind of like a relief to have these really strong stories coming out. I want to touch on the Netflix stuff a little bit. Last week, Suncast wasn't here, and I spoke to Paul on Tuesday about this. But this is another PR nightmare, and they should have learned from the HP story and everything that happened with HP. You know what? In thinking about this for a week, Netflix does not want to be in the DVD business. They don't.
No.
they want to leave. They want to do exclusively streaming because the overhead and the headache is a lot less for them. And they've even said it too. They said that with the DVD business, they're not really making as much as they can with the streaming business.
Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about Netflix splitting their DVD by mail service off into its own separate company called Quickster.
I don't think it was done properly. I think what they should have done instead we're spinning it off. And if you are an existing customer, because of what happened, we will give you, a year of the service for free or something.
Reed Hastings,
just to get
the CEO, did not explain it correctly.
No,
he didn't correctly explain why they're doing this and what the benefits are to current customers.
Well, there are no benefits for the current customers. It's the direction that the company wants to go, and the company wants to be a streaming service.
But they didn't effectively explain that in the message in the apology video that followed.
No, and did you get are you a Netflix subscriber, Chase?
Yes,
did you get that?
I got the personalized letter to me.
I messed up. I messed up. That's how the email starts. And I actually thought he was going to say, I messed up in what happened over the summer, and we're not going to give you a price bump.
No, they did the completely backwards order of things. You don't announce that you're splitting the prices, the DVD and the streaming prices. You don't announce that you're raising prices and then announce that you're spinning off the company. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to say, hey, our streaming business is getting so large and so big, and we need to gain more leverage in that we're going to split off the DVD business to be more dedicated for you, the customer. You need to spin it correctly. I'm sorry, I'm getting in my marketing speak here. You need to spin it correctly for the user. And then you have these two things. And then when Quickster is spun off, then you quietly raise the price.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what you do, not this backwards stuff that they did and stuff, you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And, and now people have a really bad taste in their mouth about the whole thing. I mean, my wife, who is a huge Netflix user, she does the discs, she does the streaming, she's a huge supporter. Even her, she's like, gosh, I don't like this crap that they're doing. Now I have to manage 2 different queues. Yeah. I have to manage 2 different places. Now she's more liable to drop one side or the other, thanks to the good old quick Netflix stir debacle.
And here's the other side of this. There are many, many movies that are not available for streaming and that are only available on DVD. Are they going, because now they're going to have a much smaller library of movies and documentaries on Netflix.
That's a very good point.
And you know how I realized this? When I had Paul on Tuesday for What the Tech, I was going down to listen. We started talking about extras and DVDs, and we started talking about Star Wars, and I brought up Apocalypse Now when they remade it and they added those 45 minutes of extras. And I looked on Netflix because while doing the show, I was like, you know what? It was at the end of the show. I said, I wonder if this is on because I'd love to watch the movie again because Jess has never seen it. I go to Netflix and it says DVD only. And I said, this is interesting. What are they going to do with these DVD onlys? Are they going to now provide it on Netflix, or is it only going to be on DVD on Quickster?
It's just going to be on DVD on Quickster.
That's awful. That's really bad because now I don't have an option. I have a much smaller library. You know what I mean? Like that's really bad.
Well, you always had the same. The thing is with the separation now,
it's going to
it puts it on under a bigger microscope.
Psychologically, it's separated as well.
Exactly, because now, I mean, you always had the same choice before. I mean, it was always before where I'm searching for Apocalypse Now. Oh, it's only on DVD only. Then you might look for something on the streaming side. But now, since they're completely separate, it's going to feel to the customer that it's a smaller, limited thing. So they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to make it huge and bigger. And one thing that kind of worries me about it is with the whole Stars thing going away in early 2012, it feels like it's going to get smaller.
Even smaller, yeah. Listen, I'm a Netflix fan. I've been using Netflix for, I believe, since 2008. I think when they added the streaming, I think that's when I jumped on board. I watch it nearly every night. I have Hulu Plus as well, but I see myself in Netflix a lot more than Hulu Plus for whatever reason. I just feel more comfortable. And the separation aspect of this, for me, it even affects me when it's on Hulu, because if a series is not on Netflix and it's on Hulu, because I'm watching it on 2 separate devices, I sometimes don't watch it on Hulu. I say, you know what? I'll watch it tomorrow, and I turn on Nancy Grace and I watch about it. You know, talking about Dancing with the Stars. I mean, that's what I end up
bad
doing.
choice, man. Bad choice.
I know, awful choice.
Well, you do have to look at another side of things here, and that's that DVD is somewhat of a legacy business now, and that it's not a business that's growing; it's shrinking.
Yeah.
And in that regard, spinning it off into its own separate company and separating the ties now is somewhat of a benefit in the sense that they no longer have to worry about that part of the business dragging them down, especially as the growth continues to shrink.
Well, now what they're also going to do is with the base entry level, you get Blu-ray, which you didn't before with Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
get
hear about
Blu-ray, and you also get gaming.
Well, no, I heard on the gaming side, and I think they used the example, like Blu-ray, you'll be able to pay an additional fee to get gaming. I don't think it's going to be included.
Because Blu-ray was included with mine because I had the streaming and DVD. Blu-ray was thrown in.
Well, I know. I pay like $1 extra for Blu-ray.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder how they're going to do the gaming. That might save them. I don't know how much of a business.
No, well,
the
it may
gaming-
save them, but it's going to kill one other company.
GameFly.
It's going to kill GameFly. Oh
Yeah.
my God! But remember, I know you guys may not follow gaming all too closely, but GameFly announced earlier this year, by the end of this year, they're going to be launching a online gaming rental service for you'll pay one flat fee, and you'll be able to quote check out games and play them and download them through a Steam-like interface. Steam being is an online gaming, it's not online client, it's a client that resides on your computer. So it's kind of interesting where, you know, Quickster is going to do the gaming stuff, and then GameFly is moving towards more of a online gaming presence for at least for PC users. Obviously, they can't do that for console stuff, but
Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. And Dish is getting in the game too with Blockbuster Online. Dish announced
Too late.
later. Yeah, I know. That brand is done. I mean, it really is. Dish announced that they are using the Blockbuster name for Blockbuster Premium Content
Yeah,
Rentals.
they're calling it a Blockbuster Movie Pass.
Yeah, so I just wanted to throw in there because nobody cares about Blockbuster. I want to do
No,
one
that
more.
was a big hype, and you know the way they call it a stream come true.
Yeah. So stupid.
And then they just mount.
Get it, Chase? A stream come true.
oh man,
Yeah,
wow.
really witty marketing there. I'm sure they paid thousands for that publicist to come up with that stupid idea. I want to go
You have to
to
be a Dish customer to get any sort of part of it. So
yeah. I want to go into one last story before we do our picks of the week, and I want to go into this flash on the iOS device. Now, this is such a lot of people have the story really wrong. On Thursday, this is about 2 weeks ago, because Suncast and I did not do a show, so we couldn't really talk about it. Adobe released Flash Media Server 4.5, which introduced support for Apple's iOS mobile operating systems. This does this by letting broadcasters stream Flash-based video content in an Apple-derived format, HTTP live streaming, HLS. Now, this does not necessarily mean you have Flash on your iPad
No.
or your iPhone. I've been getting a lot of messages from people saying, oh, you know, now it has Flash, I want to buy it. And I keep saying, no, it doesn't have Flash. Now this works for someone like Ustream and Justin TV and whoever, you know, streaming companies that use Flash Media Server. It's going to allow them to send it out in this H.264, I believe it's H.264 format to whoever is doing it. You know, it's just flipping the format. It's able to convert it inside of the software. I believe that's correct, right, Suncast? I believe
what
that
it is
that was a story.
Flash, what it says here is that Flash Media Server usually packages the stream in an MPEG-4 fragment, but in this different format over HLS is called the F4F file format, which I'm not very familiar with.
Yeah.
In layman's terms, we talked about this on Geek Gamer Weekly when it comes out. Joe's a huge Apple fanboy, so he was able to explain it in terms that even I could understand.
Okay. Please explain it.
Basically, in a nutshell, any streamer or anybody that uses Flash, I would say, will be able to buy and update their package through Adobe. And so when you're visiting, say, their content on an Apple compatible device, say like you're using Safari on your iPhone through your web identifier, and it will know that, hey, he's using Safari on the iPhone. It will convert the site, so the site will be friendly, and the menus and streaming stuff and anything that incorporates Flash will work correctly on that device and actually show up. You won't get Flash per se on your device. It just happens that now those sites will be visible as long as those companies pay for that upgrade.
By the way, Ustream does this currently.
Yes, and also I believe Blip TV does this as well.
Blip TV does this as well. What we do with Ustream, well, Blip is not using a Flash Media server. I don't think they're doing it via that. I think they're doing it via a conversion tool. But what Ustream does is replace. If you're on an iOS device right now and you go to gfqlive.tv, we have an iOS page. And when you click on Watch Live, it actually takes you to our Ustream video because Ustream is converting our video to H.264.
Right.
So you could watch our video on the iPad.
Right.
Yeah, what it essentially does is it changes it from an MPEG-4 stream into an MPEG-2 stream.
Yes. So it's great, and this is a way around it, and I think a lot of people are going to like this, and a lot of people are going to incorporate this, especially for live video. And we'll see what happens, and we'll see how fast people are going to implement this, because I know that they're doing it in some way now. Like, pretty much everybody's on Stickam, Blip. No, I'm sorry, Stickam, Ustream, Justin TV. They're all on iOS devices, so they must be doing it at some level. I don't know how they're currently doing the conversion, but I guess this probably makes it easier for them.
Yeah, I think like what Ustream is doing is when they notice you're coming from like an iPhone browser, they'll redirect you to their MPEG-4 H.264 compatible HTML5 stream, and it just picks that up. So what this does, in a sense, is it makes the Adobe update makes the entire site compatible, not just streaming video, mind you. Remember, there's a lot of things that use Flash, like menus and other types of items that will make that compatible.
Yeah, so it'll be really cool. We'll see what happens with this. So now you can have a Flash website like it's 2001, and it'll work on your device.
Yeah, as long as you pay for the $4,500 upgrade. Or
yeah, I saw. Do you see all that? Oh my God.
Yes,
that's a big jump. But I guess it's worth it for some people,
So
well, yeah, if you can't afford to pay to have your site completely rebuilt and reprogrammed, and all you have to do is pay an upgrade fee, and it will just work, then you pay the fee, I guess, if you have the money.
All right, guys, let's do our picks of the week, because we have another show here waiting in the behind me. They're stalking me. It's Rich and John. They do Behind the Counter, which is a show about comic books and geeky stuff. They do it every Friday at 6:30. So I got to start wrapping it up and start working for them. I end up doing all the work for their show. I end up producing everything. This week for the picks of the week, I'm going to go first, and I have it's a little bit of a cop-out. Because it's a very simple pick. I'm a big fan of Reddit. I go to Reddit for all their funny pictures and their silly, things. And I actually like the website a lot. And I love the Today I Learned portion of Reddit. They have a Reddit app for the iOS device, for the iPod. It's called Reddit Picks. And are you a fan of Reddit, Chase?
I use it a lot, actually. Use it to get cool, fresh content, local content more than anything. The Seattle scene, it's really cool on Reddit, and getting in touch with the local community. I love it for that aspect.
So the app is called Reddit Picks. I believe it was free at the time when I got it. I got it a while ago. And I love the picture stuff, and pretty much every night, and this is what I use my iPad for, it's just to entertain me with silly pictures, and I just go on there and I look at all the silly pictures and the comments.
Oh, come on, we all know you use it for 4chan.
I actually there's no 4chan app, so I don't use it for 4chan. I'm just on it now, and it's I love the site, and it just brings it on the mobile platform, and it's an app, so you could just have pictures and stuff here. I look at the pictures, Chase. You actually read Reddit. I'm actually just looking at the pictures. I told you that's all I need.
I locked the raid.
Yeah. So, look, it's a baby Firefox. So, see, baby fox. Now I'm happy. I could die in peace with my Reddit app. on my iOS device. So that's my pick. It's a very easy pick. I had something else, and I'm going to say that for next week because it's a complicated app, and I wanted to spend some time on it. But since we started late, I'm gonna do it next week. Chase, you want to go next?
Sure, I can go next.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to cover the name here.
Okay.
And I'm going to hold this up to the camera.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have you try to take a guess. Do you know what this is?
Huh. So there's an attachment device. Can I see what that other device is?
This is actually just a weight.
It's a weight.
It's a weight for the cord.
Huh.
And it's USB. Okay.
That's interesting. I have no idea what that is.
You have no idea what this is.
No
Hold on,
idea.
I'm showing the USB cord. There's the USB.
Okay.
Is it a Microsoft Arc mouse or whatever?
It is not a mouse. Good guess. I'm looking at the chat room. They don't have any idea either.
No clue.
What this is...
Somebody
this
writes
is called,
PS3 blows. Is it a PS3 blows?
This is a PS3. No. This is something called a Spider.
Okay.
It's made by a great company. I forget the name. Data Color is the company. And what this is a monitor calibration device.
Oh,
and
really cool.
And this is a very important tool. If you do anything with video or pictures, especially pictures, it's very important that your monitor is showing the proper color gamut. And what will happen from time to time is the colors on your screen your reds won't be looking like they should. Your blues won't be looking like they should. So how this device works is here. I'm now going to show you the back of the device. And the back of the device, as you can see, has this kind of a screen thing, and it's got these 3 little feet. So what this does, and I'm going to demonstrate, say my hand is the front of the monitor. Mm-hmm. You throw this over the back of the monitor, the cable, and then you kind of tilt your monitor, aim it back a little bit. And so this is flat up against your screen. You run the software. It takes about, say, 5 minutes, and you make sure you run it when your monitor's been warmed up for a half an hour.
Okay.
And what it will do is you'll create a monitor profile for your screen. So now, and you'll have a little button that you can switch between uncalibrated and calibrated, and you will see the skies that are blue, whites are white.
And it automatically it'll change the color of, you don't need to fiddle around with the actual monitor.
Right. All you want to do is set the brightness of your monitor at your normal viewing level. Make sure your lights are on at your normal viewing level. Make sure your monitor has been warmed up. It works for CRTs and LCDs. And what it will do then is create a custom color profile. So every time you boot up your computer, it will load this profile, and your colors will look correct.
That's actually awesome. You know what? I need one. How much is that?
The great price. Now, I picked this up about a year and a half ago for $89.
Wow, that's great.
It's called the Spider. Here's the box for it. It's called the Spider 3 Express. Now, there's a couple of extra. There's higher up versions. There's a Pro version, and there's like even a higher version than that. Really, for what you and I do, if you're just an entry level, even a medium level, just basic stuff. The Express, the low entry one, is the one you want. It works on Macs and PCs. It works great. I calibrate my monitors, and it runs in your system tray, and it'll even remind you that you should recalibrate every 3 months or however you set it for.
Now, when you calibrated, I'm sure you calibrated for your video, for what you're using. Did you notice a difference where you're like, wow, I can't believe how wrong it was?
Yeah, the biggest thing I've ever noticed is the whites become white. Before, whites had this kind of a yellowish tint to it.
Which I have the same problem on my monitor. The Samsung, I have a Samsung monitor here, and it's a really warm monitor. And if I pull up in Microsoft and Windows, when you pull up like the picture preview?
Yes.
When it pulls that up, it's orange in the background.
Yeah. Now this can't solve hardware issues. So if your monitor is going out and there are some issues with your monitor, it can't solve that. Mm-hmm. But what this can definitely do for you is make sure that your colors are correct. And what it will do is in software, it will adjust it'll adjust your contrast and your color balances and everything to make sure it's proper and correct.
That's awesome. That's a great pick.
Yeah, I love this thing. I've had it for a couple of years. And I run it on my monitors. I have a Mac and a PC, and it runs great on both.
Great pick. Suncast, your turn.
All right. So this is a pick that I've wanted to do for a couple of weeks now, and I was going to do it last week, but of course I couldn't. It's called Mouse Without Borders. You may have heard of it. It's this new tool from Microsoft that allows you to control multiple computers from one keyboard and one mouse. It's kind of like a KVM, a keyboard and mouse and video switcher, only it does this all through software and IP and TCP stuff. I have a couple computers here, actually 3 computers here.
So this is
3 monitors.
So this is equivalent to what Synergy is, but made by Microsoft.
Yes, this is, in my opinion, a lot easier than using Synergy.
Okay.
I've used Synergy before, but it seemed very complicated to use.
Yeah, we have Synergy here, and it doesn't really work all the time.
Now, Suncast, does it work cross-platform between Mac and PC?
No, it does not. This is only for Windows.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, I have 3 monitors here. I have 2 computers and a laptop, and I can use this Mouse Without Borders program, install it on each computer, just like Synergy is, and I can use my one keyboard, my one mouse, and control all of them from that single keyboard and mouse, which saves me a lot of time. I don't have to install VNC on all of them, or I don't have to use Synergy, which is kind of complicated to use and set up sometimes.
Now, let me ask you another thing. With Synergy, when the Microsoft access control, you know, like you open up like control panel, you start doing a change, it pops up. What I forgot what UAC.
The where it asks you for password.
Yeah, when the UAC stuff pops up, Synergy loses sync with the computer. It actually, the mouse freezes until you hit OK or cancel, and it goes back to whatever it is. This works, right? It doesn't do that.
I have not experienced any issues in regards to having the user access control thing pop up and I have to type in my password.
That's great.
No issues with that.
Where can people get it?
They can go to Microsoft's TechNet. They can also Google it. It's just called Mouse Without Borders. It's from the Microsoft Garage, which is a really cool part of Microsoft where they like to tinker and create these little programs that do really cool things. And this is one of the things that has come out of Microsoft Garage, Mouse Without Borders. It's free, but it's only for Windows.
Awesome. Great pick. Both of you. Really good picks. My pick is crappy compared to yours. Suncast, I want to thank you for coming on. Chase, you could go check out Chase's network now. Not just one podcast, but he has a network. He has multiple shows. At geekgamer.tv is a site you can watch live. I know you're on Sunday nights at 10 p.m. East. When is the Minecraft show on?
We try to record on Thursday evening, so we just did one yesterday, episode number 4. We talked about the Minecraft 1.8 update, which just rolled out. A lot of great new features, new monsters, new tools, new everything. So we record on Thursdays, and we release by Friday.
Excellent, excellent. You can follow Chase on Twitter. Chase is on Twitter at Nunes, Newness. That is your Twitter. And then also for Geek Gamer Weekly is GG Weekly Twitter, right? GG Weekly.
Yeah, GG Weekly is basically the network Twitter feed for everything geekgamer.tv.
Chase, I really appreciate you coming on. I know it's very last minute, but I always love it when you're on, and I'm going to make sure I come on very, very soon. Maybe this Sunday I could come on.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe we have a slot open, so we'd love to have you.
I'm actually this Sunday. I guess I'll save it for. It has nothing to do with tech. I'll talk about it on the next show. Teaser.
Keep your mouth shut.
It has nothing to do with
Not
this.
yet.
Yeah,
Not yet.
our
Keep your
show's a
mouth
little
closed.
cash. I mean, you know, we don't wear pants.
Yeah.
We just hang around and talk stuff.
Verizon Fios New York is following me on Twitter. That's interesting. You can go to our website, guysfromqueens.com or gfknetwork.com, rebranding, gfknetwork.com. All our shows are archived on there, so if you miss a show, you could watch it at any given time. You can subscribe on iTunes. If you go to itunes.com/GFQ, that's our network page on iTunes. It'll pop up all our shows, and you could hit subscribe to all of them. You could also watch live to each and every one of our shows. We're constantly replaying our shows at gfqlive.tv. We're on Twitter, twitter.com/GFQ, Facebook, facebook.com/guysfromqueens. And we'll see you all next week on Tech News Weekly. Good night, everybody.